Well, this is not a cold opening. It's warm out. So John and I are actually outside today in the same place.
Yes, in case you were fooled by our immaculate production quality, we have never been in the same location recording these episodes.
We are distance, and we're outside, so you might get some wind.
We're 6-something feet apart, I think. Did you measure?
I didn't bring the tape measure. Oh. So now we have to contend with different things.
I'm going to go sit in the garage.
We have to contend with a little bit different stuff here. Like, there's more distractions. I'm looking at leaves and blowing, and I'm going to be distracted. I'm not used to seeing John, and that's distracting.
Yeah.
I'm used to just recording. And
yeah, I'm kind of, dirty because I finished a bunch of yard work before Phil got here.
Well, the yard looks good.
Yeah, well, I filled 8 of those freestanding paper yard bags with leaves.
There's the song title.
And we can, that's what I want to have a song about: bagging leaves.
Freestanding.
Freeform, freestanding, freebase. Leaf bags.
Freestyling with John and Phil on Time to Lean, and here's the song, episode 52. I hope you like rap. There's a lot of rap today. And, okay, not really. But anyway, episode 52 will start as soon as this little ditty runs out here, which is right about now.
Freebase leaf bags.
Okay, now we're warming up a little bit. It just seems so weird. It's really different. But yeah, so here we are. We're outside. We're gonna
not COVID. Do you ever do that if you a cough or clear your throat? You feel like if you're near somebody, you have to say, "I don't have COVID."
Yeah.
I just coughed.
Yeah.
Don't freak out, man.
Well, sometimes I've said like, I just have a dry throat.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well, I guess who knows if you have it. Sometimes it takes a long time to find out.
Yeah, it's very timely. So how are you? Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was okay. I actually have this week off, and
I forgot you're off from work this whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know where to look. I'm sorry. I'm distracted. See, I'm not.
I know. I usually can just kind of roll my eyes around while I talk.
Because
it probably sounds like that.
Or I zone out.
Yeah.
I guess I could actually look at you.
It's like that's like eye contact. It's like that's really weird.
I'll put my sunglasses on.
That's better. Mask and sunglasses, and basically you can't tell anything. I could nod off.
Well, and typically when men talk, they don't look at each other.
Right. That's just awkward, dude. I don't know.
This is our worst episode ever.
Yeah.
No.
I think Al Franken owes us some kind of recognition because he uses a version of that, which I've mentioned 3 or 4 times now.
Well, maybe we could lease it.
No, his comment is, this is going to be a great episode for a change.
Okay.
So it's not, okay, I'll give him, it's not exactly the same thing.
Eddie probably hasn't heard our podcast.
Selling us short already. I can't believe it.
So we got 3 whiskeys to try, and John's had a couple of really cool gigs.
I just got back from my yearly 9th trip to Mackinac Island, Michigan, with the Jerry O'Hagan Orchestra.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought it wasn't going to happen this year. I was very surprised that it did.
I kind of was too.
A few months ago when we started to talk about it, I thought, I'm just waiting for the hotel to cancel. It's saying either safety concerns or too many people aren't signed up for it.
Right. Not
whatever
enough people,
it was.
dancers.
And it did happen, and it was different.
Yeah.
I definitely, as you can imagine. They had a lot of good safety things in place. They seemed to police the mask pretty well.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, there were a lot fewer people dancing in the hall where we play, and that made it feel a little better, more secure.
Sure. And you didn't have like the full band either.
No, we did actually.
You did?
We took the entire group, but we spread out on the stage quite a bit. It's a large place.
Yeah.
It's only a 13-piece band plus the leaders, and everybody was spread out pretty well. I'm sure there was slight risk, especially for the wind players.
Sure.
Because they basically had, and of course Charmin had to sing. Although she did put her mask back on, and when she wasn't singing, she doesn't sing on every tune, and I think everybody was good about that. As soon as we stopped playing, everybody put their masks back on. I wore mine the entire time.
Right, you can.
I'd rather not. It sucks. Again, nobody likes doing it, but I felt like, well, I don't need to have my face uncovered to play, so I should be good. And because anytime you do something like this, there's an element of risk about it.
Yep.
No, it was good, and I thought we played our asses off. It was a good show.
Well, not all of you have been performing very often.
No, we had a couple of backyard rehearsals to get ready, because the band had not played together since early March.
And you probably were all really anxious to play.
Yeah, I think the energy was up just because people were just happy to be there doing it.
Yeah.
And
happy to be here. Ringo.
The group just really sounded good, and I think the crowd liked it. It seemed a little quiet. Usually the crowd there is very enthusiastic.
Sure.
Just a lot fewer of them.
Fewer, and people more restrained.
Yeah, exactly. And for me,
which is okay.
I had been doing some very limited playing, but I'm still kind of out of shape for playing 2-3+ hour gigs in a row.
Yeah.
So we played Friday and Saturday night up there.
Yeah. 3 hours.
Yeah, 9 to 12:30 each night.
And the bass is usually in every song.
Usually, unless I nod off or something. But I mean, the rhythm section plays all the time.
Yeah. Who was the drummer on this one?
That's my friend Kerry. He's the usual guy.
Yeah, okay.
Our piano player did not go, and a couple of other guys didn't go. But, we had some great guys filling in, and as I said, it was fun. The interesting thing. They're coming for us.
This episode's on fire.
We're violating some FCC licensing.
Yeah.
We don't have the right.
Crystal PD has got a word on us there.
Crystal
Come
PD.
bust up our party,
Oh no.
But
welcome to the party. Richter.
Yeah, the hotel was surprisingly busy overall, even though the ballroom part where we played was not as. I'd say it was less than half the normal crowd there.
Sure.
But the hotel was, I thought, as busy as it has ever been, keeping in mind that we always go during the late part of the season. So the hotel in most of the island shuts down beginning of November for the winter. And so usually I think the traffic level up there is a lot lower than it is, say, in July or something like that. But I'm not... It felt like the hotel was as busy as it has other years, and the island in general felt very crowded, uncomfortably so. We went down to the little downtown area where all the shops are.
Yeah, get some fudge.
Yep. All the fudge places were open, although they were really good. They actually limited the number of people in the store.
Good.
Things like that.
Good.
But all the restaurants and bars down there were completely full.
Oh.
They were not limited in tables.
Yeah.
They just, and of course you have to take your mask off to eat.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it looked like you were mostly just doing room service.
I ate my dinners in my room. I went down for lunch on the Saturday, and there was almost nobody there.
Yeah.
It was very sparse. So, and I had my mask on when I wasn't eating and all that stuff.
Oh, sure.
But, they gave us the option to have any or all of our hotel provided meals in the room, and normally, as I've probably talked about at least last year, they do a really fancy 5-course dinner at night. And it's one of those deals where you pick a selection from each, you get 3 to 5 choices from each category, appetizer and blah, blah, blah. And you pick that, and they bring it out one at a time. Very fancy. There are a million utensils on the plate.
Of course.
I never get through them all. I think I don't know.
You're not using your forks, right?
And then the waiters or wait staff come up to you and unceremoniously take them away when the time comes that before dessert.
Yeah.
It's almost like, okay, you should have used this, buddy. Because I'm like, I didn't use the proper one. Which one of the 3 forks should I have used? Or it's like that.
There's some order to it. It's like the
there's
salad.
definitely
and
an order.
But I
Yeah.
never.
So you do that, and
That's not my gig.
but they had us just. I just called the desk or the service desk people and told them which one of the choices off each part of the menu I wanted, and they brought it up to my room on a big cart with a.
Oh yeah.
It was all exactly the same. The fancy dishes, all the extra utensils were there too.
Wow.
And so that was really cool.
Yeah. And
And
that's a really
so-
nice place. An old. What's it? The Grand Hotel.
Grand Hotel.
Is it yellow? I'm trying to remember. I
No,
haven't been
it's
there for
white.
years.
A lot of whites
No,
and
okay.
green. White and green is kind of the color scheme of it. It's
Okay.
a 100+
that's
year
right.
old hotel.
I remember now.
It-
I never stayed there, but I've been to Mackinac Island before.
I wouldn't be able to stay there if it wasn't for this, because it's very expensive. If you go to their website, it's not a cheap place to stay.
No.
But it's very fancy, very old. They kept the classic character of it.
Yeah. That carpet.
That fancy carpet. There's lots of green, and it almost has an overlook hotel vibe.
I always get that feeling.
I mean,
from
it's
the
nicer
pictures.
than that, actually. you know.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
old, weird hotel, especially the times I'm reminded of The Shining. It is so we get done playing very late at night, and
yeah.
this hotel completely shuts down.
And it's probably haunted.
I'm sure.
If any place
anything
is.
that old sits around long enough, it gets haunted. But you're walking back to your room, and there's nobody around, or maybe off in the distance somebody's vacuuming a carpet,
Sure.
and past all these old paintings. And here's the governor of Minnesota, governor of Michigan's suite. Here's the such and such suite, and all this old brass-plated signs and
Well,
stuff like that. And it's a little bit weird because it's so quiet in these big rooms with all the overstuffed chairs.
especially after you've been playing really loud music for.
It
you know,
is
3
jarring
hours,
actually
and
coming
then all
out
of
of
a
there.
sudden-
Well, we always get a little gathering afterwards with the band,
yeah.
because we need to wind down and we like to drink.
Oh yeah, all the different whiskeys.
And hi, that's my lovely wife giving me dirty looks. Told me to not talk about her. She waved at you. She's told me to shut the fuck up.
Are you talking this into there when I'm saying this?
Well, I am now.
We can edit it out.
I can cut it out.
I know, but you don't. That's the problem.
Well, you know this by now.
Hello, Phil.
Hello.
I hope you like your fudge.
I would love my fudge if I get any.
Sorry?
If
I
I
just
get
gave it
any,
to
my
you.
no, I meant.
Your family will
My
eat it
family. I gotta. I'm one of those people that waits until I, am ready for it. I guess, and some of my family are not. They'll just eat it.
They're a sweet cereal Saturday morning bunch. They better eat it now before it's gone.
That's what we were.
Law of the jungle.
I had to.
Well,
hide,
just eat a chunk of it on the way home in the car.
I had to hide part of it last year.
Well, doesn't one of them have nuts on it?
Yeah, but the panache. But
Your kids don't like nuts, right?
they might. They'd eat it. They'd eat it if sweet enough.
Oh, okay.
Boy, that's a beautiful place. It smells so good.
The fudge shop,
Fudge.
Joanne's
Oh
Fudge.
yeah, yeah.
We've
Hey,
decided
they
have
could be
the
our
best
sponsor.
fudge.
I think I've
We've decided they have the best fudge. Yeah.
I've heard that as well, and I think I agree. I haven't been there for years.
However, they do not have the best caramel corn,
oh,
which is something I've started getting as a habit. Freshly made caramel corn.
Oh, that's
from
good stuff.
Ryebacks. Is it not RT Ryback? No, it's not RT Ryback. Ryobi? No, Ryobi's the lawnmowers and stuff. Rybas. RY. It is RY.
This segment is brought to you by Reba McIntyre's Caramel Corn. The queen of country is also the queen of corn. Mmm.
Ryobacks. Yeah. This is really awkward. You're not laughing at anything. He who laughs at own joke, not funny. As my dad would quip. Probably when we were saying something dumb. Anyway.
Hey, well, you want to try something here?
Okay, so
You want to try this
what are we
first?
drinking?
And then we can keep.
Phil brought a bottle, and I got a couple out.
All right, I brought.
Let me pour some. I don't have any.
Oh, here.
Cupboard is bare.
I brought from the Redwood Empire, Pipe Dream. I think it's out of Oregon.
Oh. It says Sonoma Valley, California.
Oh, never mind. But it's like, oh yeah, so it's got like
It's got this
I was gonna
old-timey looking guy with giant banana leaves growing out of his head.
well, it's supposed to represent, so they're in the Redwood Valley or something like that.
So hence the California.
And it has a John Muir quote. I was going to I was going to read the bottle, but that's fine.
You should do that while I'm.
Why don't you pour some?
I'm just curious what. Okay, it's 90 proof, 45%.
Yeah.
Okay, and
It's aged 4 to 24 years.
does it really say that?
Somewhere on the website, I think. And it also actually lists the exact percentages of what's in there.
Oh, see that's really cool when they do that.
Which I forgot what they were, but I thought you'd appreciate that.
Okay, so you
So I found
check it out.
I thought I just would try it as a. It's inspired by a true gentleman, John Muir. Muir, known as the father of the national parks. The power of imagination makes us infinite, he said. The head distiller, Mr. Duckhorn. Yeah, Sonoma County, California, not Oregon. I was thinking of this.
So
wine
this
over
is a bourbon.
Yes, it's not
And
a
it is
rye.
actually a bourbon, not just a bourbon like American whiskey.
Yeah,
So it's obviously going to have mostly corn.
it has corn and I should.
Corn, rye, and malted barley.
Right. The mash bill is 75% corn, 21% raw rye, and 4% malt barley. It's named for the 14th tallest tree on the planet, Pipe Dream.
Well, what are you getting for the smell? To me, at first, it was really obvious what I was getting, but it's less obvious today that I'm outside.
Banana.
You got banana, huh?
Maybe it's because of that weird picture on the front.
See, you were thinking bananas.
It is kind of got a fruit forward smell to it.
Well, I got a huge orange hit.
Okay.
But it's different outside.
Yeah.
Because when I first
It's
had
bright.
it was
It's
inside.
very bright smell. It's not super oaky vanilla.
No. They also talk about having like really aged, like super aged barrels. I don't know. Like the barrels are very old. We'll have more tasting on this episode than we normally do, I think.
That's very nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's a good bid range. It's about, I think it goes for 43 normally, but I got it for like 38.
Oh, that's decent. Yeah.
Well, the first time I had it, well, yesterday, I was really getting the orange. And
I'm definitely picking it up now.
And the flavor too was like orange. Well, I think a reviewer described it as orange marmalade, which I don't remember.
Yeah.
The only I had a whiskey.
Yeah, the orange part is it's less on the orange acid, the citric acid thing.
No, it's like a sweet orange.
I see where somebody or a candied orange. Yeah, candied orange segment.
Yeah, right.
Well, maybe not.
Well, not better than that.
The smell I can almost reach and get to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not smelling it as orangey today. Well, see that I suppose every day is a little different. You know, you got different things going on.
Okay,
We're outside.
I'm gonna put a splash
All right.
of water because we whiskey people do that. That was probably more than I needed to put. Roly strolly in the glass.
One reviewer said that they would like to see a what's that, single cask? Is that the term?
Single cask or single barrel.
Cask strength.
Which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
They'd like to see a cask strength version of this.
Oh, a cask strength version. Yeah.
Or something. But they said that even though, because they're kind of, for them, that the fact that it was 90 normally is not a good thing, but they thought this held its own, considering that.
Yeah, 90 is pretty average. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of bourbons and rye are 90.
This reviewer was,
Although
he
some
liked
of them
it to
are
be
80.
different.
So
Yeah. He said he was like, for a 90, this is really good.
it's like, I think we've gotten a little bit spoiled with American whiskey because of there's a lot more availability of high proof whiskey that we can get that's obviously American made.
Yeah.
High proof Scotch is a lot harder to come by. I think it's more because barrel strength Scotch has traditionally not been something that there's been a market for.
Sure.
I think that's a much more recent thing. So I think the Scotch industry is a lot more traditional, and they tend to not do as much. And Scotch in general, because it's aged longer, tends to be naturally slightly lower proof. It's really, I don't think you see Scotches in the 60% range. They're much more in the 50s.
Sure.
Whereas there are bourbons that go a little above 60% because they're just not aged as long, and the climate's different and things like that. So you just, and of course economically, it's harder to get enough out of those Scotch casks because they have to sit longer and they lose more of their strength anyway. Whereas if you're only aging it a few years, high proof is a lot more economical.
They also reference their location and the temperate climate is helping a slow and even extraction of flavor.
Yeah, the water. I think I like it better without water, actually. So I starting to see why somebody was wishing for a higher proof version of this.
Yeah, they want to try
Because
that.
it was pretty mild mannered before I put water in it. Water, I mean, it's still good. It's not drowned. The flavor's not drowned out. But it's.
I mean, I do get a spice too. It's like an orange spice, but it was definitely sweeter. For some reason, the sweetness isn't coming out as much today either. My nose is kind of plugged up. I wonder if that's part of it.
Well, and the character can change when you open the bottle too.
Well, yeah, and it's been open for a day, so I mean, I didn't leave the cork out, but so yeah, definitely. I think I like this better the second day.
This is really nice though.
If you would have tried it yesterday, I don't know if you would have liked it because it was really sweet. I thought.
Yeah, it has not got any kind of spicy note at all to it. It's a very easy sipping, as you would maybe say. So while I'm finishing this,
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah,
I didn't think you would. Well, I mean, I thought you wouldn't mind it. But.
I wouldn't throw it out of bed. Anyway, so we had a great trip, and it's always fairly exhausting because of the long drive up there.
Well, yeah, I was kind of surprised you'd want to record tonight. You're a trooper, though.
Yeah, well, that's why I took today off from work.
Yeah,
so I could sleep
even
a little
then,
bit.
You're a trooper.
But
you're used to doing the gigs and stuff.
Yeah, well, it helps. Again, in the first couple of years, I just went myself, and most of the band would get up at, I think we'd leave the Twin Cities at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The buses and stuff, or not buses.
We'd take an RV and a
Yeah.
large van, I think, and
Sure.
a few people went on their own. But most of us, those first couple of years, went as a small caravan, and we had to leave no later than 4 a.m. to get there in time to get on the ferry boat to the island.
Oh, that's right. The timing.
Yep, and it's in Eastern time, so you lose an hour.
Yep. 4 a.m.
So yeah, really, we would be starting to load the gear up at 3:30.
Oh God, that's
Because we
really
only had to
for
meet
you.
somewhere, so we go over to like St. Paul,
Yeah,
and
that's really for anybody.
and that it was just exhausting. We had to play that night, but so the next day you're really fried. You either sleep all day or you tough it out and try and get up in time to actually see something before you have to turn around and play again.
Load up on some fudge.
Get some fudge.
Get some sugar going. That'll keep you awake.
Yeah,
Chocolate.
They very helpfully give us a backstage assortment of beverages, not alcoholic.
Coffee.
They have coffee and tea and pop
Sure.
and
Yeah, yeah.
water and
Oh yeah.
so
Some way to stay awake.
I at least those first few years when I was doing that first night with almost no sleep, I would just pound the coffee.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing in the 70s they probably had some blow, too.
Grand Hotel Blow. Tonight's episode is sponsored. But lately, since my wife has started going along too, we drive ourselves, and we go part way or something like that.
Yeah.
And it makes the day way better.
That's a long drive in one day anymore, for me anyway.
It really is hard, and it's a long drive coming back, but you don't have that deadline.
Yeah.
You can be a little more leisurely about it, but
yeah, on the way back,
it's
I go
8 to 9 hours or so, and it's just a lot of driving because you go all the way through Wisconsin, and so
is
driving,
it still like 2 lanes most of the way? I mean,
the last couple of hours are all 2 lane
still,
with interspersed passing lanes.
Yeah, right.
That's when you get into the UP proper and start Upper Peninsula, and you're driving near the lake shore. It's very pretty. There's lots of scenery, and you're kind of hugging the coastline there. But it is not fast going.
No.
And it's like, for me, it's the time equivalent of driving to Rapid City, but it's fewer miles.
Yep.
Speaking of driving through Wisconsin, we, it being election time, there were lots and lots of Trump signs.
Oh yeah, you're going up there. You're going to see those.
Yeah, I mean there were.
I remember those drives.
We're not going to do politics, but
I'm guessing the Upper Peninsula won't be going for Biden, but
mostly not. I think it was like 80 or 90% Trump.
Yeah, well.
From my very informal counting of signs, the people living out there are. It is generally a redneck area.
Well, people that want to get away from the cities or for whatever reasons.
It is very. It's like any rural urban divide thing, and Wisconsin, of course, is like that very much because the urban centers have most of the Democratic population. But
yeah,
we saw the 2 standout signs because most of them were standard issue Trump.
Sure. Somebody made their own.
With honorable mention to gun owners for Trump. That was one of the flavors of signs you could encounter.
Flavor? How was it on the nose?
Right.
There was one person kind of made their own, I think, and they said like, "Christ is my savior, Trump is my president."
Oh, okay.
That I especially loved.
Yeah.
And then, almost to make me feel better. Sorry. A few miles later, during one of these stretches where you feel like you're driving through somebody's yard, the roads are so isolated.
Yeah.
There were several large Trump signs that somebody had spray painted Nazi over.
Oh no.
And I think I saw another one later that had BLM.
Oh.
Obviously fans of the Bureau of Land Management.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I and he wants to open that up to logging.
Yeah. So
sure, I get it.
I think that person was being very nuanced with their policy discussions there, but yeah. So other times when there's elections going on, I've noticed that yes, that's a very Republican stronghold, and that's fine. We all kind of expect it. But great trip. Glad to have done it. I hope that's not the last gig till next year.
Have you ever had? Well, you probably have, but how is it pronounced? Glenmorangie?
Yes.
Glenmorangie,
I think is how
yeah, there you go.
the snobs promote.
I remember I went through a phase, and I always felt that had a little bit of an orange
Yes.
kind of thing.
It is a fruity kind of Speyside Scotch.
And, I thought maybe it almost has the word orange in the title or the name.
Suggestive.
But the name means Vale of Tranquility, I guess. It doesn't have anything to do with oranges.
Vale of Tranquility.
Vale.
Okay. I did not know that. That's a good single malt.
So I'd kind of like to compare this bourbon with that single malt.
You want to do it right now?
Sure.
I've got some.
Okay, because they're both from the shore, right?
I don't know where. Yeah, it is probably near a shore.
I'm just curious.
Okay, hold on.
I haven't had it for years. Okay.
To get some.
Okay, this is our first break.
My wife locked me out of the house. Son bitch.
He did not call her a bitch, in case you're wondering.
I said son of a bitch.
He said son of a bitch. We're going to be kind of comparing things today. This is an impromptu comparing. But John's got a couple of other things that we're going to compare, too. And we'll mix in anecdotes and plenty of BS. John is now...
Kids today.
Yeah, there it is. I haven't had that for years. Okay. Now, I don't know why these would be similar.
This is the standard 10-year Glenmorangie.
Right. I went through a phase where this was the one I had. I'm just curious now. I haven't had it for years. It has a similar smell. Why would it be the same? A bourbon and a...
Well, it shouldn't be. It's different grain. Okay, I gotta try that.
Oh, it does taste different though. It has a similar smell. It's definitely, I don't know. I get the orange from it. But that's what when I had this pipe dream yesterday, it reminded me of Glenmorangie.
Oh yeah, it's still got a fruit thing, but it's different.
It is. There's something else underneath there, but I can't. That's good.
No, it's almost more of a plum raisiny kind of.
Yeah. Well, these are both nice autumnal beverages, or Christmas time, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Glenmorangie is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went through a phase where that was my...
It's
my
one of the
go-to.
best mass market ones, I think.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It is different. It is different.
No,
there's something similar, though, to both, but what?
Well, they both have a lot of fruit
Yeah.
characteristics to them. Okay.
It is a
Interesting.
different...
No, good catch, though.
There's some tie-in. We'll blame it on the sea. Maybe they use the same barrels.
I love... actually, well, they use ex-bourbon barrels for Scotch, usually, so...
Okay. Well, okay.
You're not that far off.
No.
But yeah, it's different.
It is different. I was just curious. It's funny you had that. I could try it.
Before we jump into round two...
Yeah.
Do you...
Well, I was just gonna... another thing, I mean, you had another... I thought was a really cool gig was... you got to play at
it's all about me, huh?
Well, that's fine. You got to play at the Dakota, which is a premier jazz club.
The Dakota Jazz Club in downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah. It was a little different this time. I mean, there wasn't an audience, but...
No audience, for sure. This is, again, with Charmin Michelle, the vocalist, with a small group of people, and...
Let's see, a saxophonist, a trumpetist, trumpetista, the drummer. I think that was Gary, right? Was he there?
Yeah.
And then also the pianist, Fidelity, Bruce Pendleton.
Yep, that's
and
it.
you,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. That was the whole group. I got to watch that. It was it was part of a virtual jazz festival since they couldn't do it live this year.
Right.
And
they each week they've featured a local artist.
I should have caught some more of those. I didn't really catch on to it soon enough.
Well, you can go watch
still
them
online.
yeah. Actually, that performance and all the other ones are there. If you go back, you can watch a replay.
So where would I find them?
The same. I'll put a link in the show notes. Okay. Ha 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 ha.
We're not very good at marketing ourselves. And
it's about an hour.
Wow, that was good.
She did a great job.
Wow,
even
you
though
all did.
She had to pretend it was a live audience and
that would
talk
be weird.
a little bit, and she pulled it off.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Other than there was no crowd noise, you wouldn't necessarily have known. She did.
Yeah.
I mean,
the timing is
job.
always a little weird, and all that's. And the funny part was that besides the camera and sound people, the club has been closed for a while. Since COVID started.
Oh, sure.
So everything was kind of mothballed, but they had kind of made up some of the tables with martini glasses on them and candles and stuff like that.
So you get a little of the ambiance.
It was live, but it wasn't live, and that, of course, it was recorded. But
Yeah.
we did play the whole thing without stopping.
Yeah.
We did the hour without. We didn't stop and go, okay, what are we going to play now? None of that.
No.
It was really performed as a live performance.
Yeah. And it sounded like they were
So-
running kind of a tight ship.
Yeah. No. There wasn't a lot of.
Get out of here.
Other than multiple camera angles and things like that, and there was some editing they could do. It was the performance was not. There were never any retakes or anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. Hopefully
So-
he actually will put the link on. It was really good.
Yeah,
I was very impressed.
I thought everybody did great. Like anything else, we're all happy to be playing it all. So
Well, yeah. And
Yeah.
Dakota. Hopefully someday you can play there with an audience.
I'd never gotten to play there.
It's kind of like a bucket list, right?
I should say that. But
If you had a bucket list,
I'm
maybe
not
it
sure I ever thought I would play there. It's pretty high. They get a lot of.
Oh yeah, I
It's
know.
mostly national stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It was really cool.
And it's like, the funny thing is, I get the impression that the locals that play there, mostly, I mean, not that they aren't great, but they often do because they have connections or
Yeah.
know people that do the booking.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's the case with some of the other venues in town, that
Yeah.
it's hard to break in there if you aren't in their circles.
Well, now
So-
you've played there once at least. Maybe you can get there again
And
someday.
that's what I hope, that Charmin had never played there either, and
Well,
so and she should have been playing there. She's great, and
yeah, I know.
um,
That's sad.
but yeah, that's like
She doesn't know the right
everything
people.
else. The networking is so important.
Yeah.
Networking, and if you don't suck.
Networking has never been my
Oh, and you have to
forte.
show up.
Yeah, you got to show up.
If you start playing that, if you're reliable and you don't antagonize people, that covers a lot of sins. It really does. But no, that's been great. That's been great.
Other things we're contending with out here is every now and then a leaf will fall on one of us. And
Yeah,
and
I do
wasp.
love fall in general for weather.
Yeah,
It's my
I
favorite
like it
time of the year
cooler.
for the weather in Minnesota.
I like the changing leaves.
Except when I have to bag them. But no, I could hire a service to do it. But
At
this
your
way I can buy
service.
more whiskey. Speaking of that,
Yeah,
so one of the things,
the wasps are very interested in our whiskey.
well, there's sugar in whiskey. So
Yeah.
at our after show gathering, one of my friends in the band brought out 4 different Knob Creek bourbon bottles. So Knob Creek, famous Jim Beam imprint.
Yeah.
And the Jim Beam / Knob Creek, they do a lot of single barrel. So to remind people what that means is that you'll see a number of terms on whiskey bottles. So if you ever see, one of them is small batch. From what I understand, the term small batch is fairly meaningless. Anything can be considered small batch. So if you see that, it's not that special.
Well, it's just a label.
Yeah, they're
Marketing.
trying to make it sound like it's a limited run or something like that. That it's special in
Which
some
I
way.
would have thought. Sure.
Not mass marketed, or
Yeah.
not mass produced, I should say. Now, single barrel is something else, or a single cask if you're talking about Scotch or Irish whiskey or something like that. Single barrel, though, means that the whiskey in the bottle came from one particular barrel out of the batch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unusual most of the time because your average, say, Knob Creek
It's blended,
bourbon or
isn't it?
rye, yeah, they to maintain a flavor profile or consistency, they will blend multiple barrels worth of the spirit to make the standard version, because it'll taste the same from bottle to bottle, batch to batch. Scotch and almost every other whiskey is going to be like that, and that's something that's generally considered desirable. So if you and of course the epitome of that is like Johnny Walker or something like that you expect it to taste the same every time you buy it.
Sure.
So it's like if you want your Coca-Cola to taste the same each time, you don't want Coke to taste different. Suddenly it's
Mexican Coke is
suddenly it's like RC or you don't want that. So and yes, it's all chemical, so it doesn't really matter with Coke. But with whiskey, there is a certain skill in making it taste the same.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know.
over a period of years, most whiskeys do change anyway, but you don't want to, over the period of, say, 1 year, if you buy 2 bottles of whiskey, you don't want them to taste different.
Right.
Because, hey, I really like Knob Creek. If the next one tastes different, that's going to throw you off. So
Yep.
that's an issue. So, but if you're a whiskey nerd or something like that, which this guy was, and I'm working on getting him on as a guest actually. So
Chris?
yes, Chris H.
Chris H. Okay.
Different Chris, not Chris E.
Right. Good.
Gotta get all the Chris's.
Chris C.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So,
Chris
what was
Christie.
that? A single barrel. So, if you're into whiskey, it's interesting to taste different barrels because they actually vary quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm really curious.
And what Chris had, and he told me he's been getting into this as a thing because here in the States, it's not that hard to find single barrel versions of some of the brands of bourbon and rye. And so you can get, and Knob Creek is apparently very prolific at this. And so what that means is that it's usually for a liquor store.
yeah.
So a liquor
a
store,
restaurant, maybe.
Yeah,
A
some bars and restaurants will also do these. You have the option of buying a single barrel's worth of bottles of whiskey.
And I always like to try that if I find one of those. Or I
Yeah,
always
and
like
I've
to.
gotten much more interested in them because
Yeah.
they're almost always good.
Yeah.
But
And something different, too.
each one will do it, and it also gives the store or the restaurant something different
Yep.
to offer. So, for example, the two I have in front of me are both Knob Creek Ryes. They're single barrel. They're identical strength. They're both and they're barrel strength. So they haven't been watered down from how supposedly the only thing they did is run them through some kind of a filter to get out the sawdust or whatever. And they're both
Should leave that.
what is it? 57.5%. So
Okay.
115 proof. And one of them is an exclusive high V from their liquor store. They bought at least 1 barrel's worth, maybe
Yeah.
more. They're huge. And the other one is from a bar in St. Paul, Minnesota called The Parlor,
hmm
which
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
I don't know it myself.
Maybe it's not open anymore.
And this is something I bought it at a store. We apparently bought the stock out that these restaurants or bars couldn't use because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I have a bottle of Maker's Mark that's from
right.
the Volstead House
Yeah.
in Eagan, Minnesota.
Sure. That's a cool place if anybody's around that area. You could look that up online and see the picture of their bar. It's really impressive. It's one of those that you need a ladder to get up to the...
Those are the best ones.
I don't know how many shelves they have up, but it's pretty cool.
Right. So these places will, again, normally buy a barrel's worth, and that's a lot of bottles.
Yeah.
And again, they ended up with a lot of stock that they probably needed to get rid of and
Yeah.
free up some cash. So one of the liquor stores here in the cities bought some of them up
hmm
and resold them, and so that's where I got this Parlor Bar one and this Volstead Maker's Mark.
I've been really interested in trying this.
Right. So this is 2 single barrels. We're gonna try them both.
Which one first, though?
Um,
Alphabetical. This is a little lighter.
Yeah, it's a little bit lighter.
Well,
Yeah, and it's also it's fun because they're both the same proof. They both seem they seem to be.
it's the same company, and they probably use the same
So
similar.
Are they going to taste exactly the same, or are they going to be different? And I don't have a standard Knob Creek Rye with me to. That would be kind of our control group, I guess.
I guess I could have brought one if I was thinking. I was thinking
Anyway,
about that. I got
let's
this
start with the
instead.
high V.
I forgot. Okay, this one.
And I got to get some more water because a fly landed in my water. So I'll be right back.
To try the rye, but not you, Fly. Glenn Fry.
Okay, Knob Creek It says KYUS. Oh, that means Kentucky, United States, I'm guessing. Single barrel Kentucky straight rye whiskey. Select rye. This is a high V blend. Or not blend, but barrel. John can pour his own. I might smell it now already, though. I should let it sit a little bit, shouldn't I? I don't know. I'm talking to myself. I'm getting more used to that. Boy, that smells good.
Water. Okay. Slide it down here.
Keep a moving, John. He's a devil, not a John, and he moves the desert suns with water. Water.
Put the cork back on before the close.
Oh, the wasp might get in there. A drunk wasp. Oof.
And I would definitely add water to this one.
Oh?
It's high proof.
Should I?
You can try it first, but
Yeah, okay. What are you smelling? My nose is getting plugged up, John. Sad.
it doesn't have a huge nose to it.
I thought I was getting some vanilla at first, but my nose is sacking up. Ooh, that is strong.
Yeah, I think there's some oaky vanilla.
It's strong.
Yeah, it has a huge bite. Got a little tongue burn there.
Yeah. So put a little water in.
It's got a very classic rye flavor to it,
Sure.
you know. Very small amount of water.
I wish I would have remembered to get the regular knob. I feel like a knob.
No, you're a knob. I don't get Knob Creek very often.
Oh, that's better. Ooh. Yeah, that definitely needs a little water. That's nice. How are we going to be able to tell the difference? What if it's exactly the same? Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be subtle.
Yeah.
Or it will at least be
I
subtly
remember
different.
the other one having a little bit more intensity, but it's been a week or two. I think I last had some during the last presidential debate.
Oh.
So who the fuck knows what
Yeah. Oh, no. It's definitely a rye. I mean,
it's not super spicy like some of them, like that Rocknar one I had for a while.
Yeah.
That one just kind of had a sting.
Well, this has a nice spice, but
Yeah, it's
sting.
almost fruitcake or something.
Well, I definitely was going to say orange again, but I'm smelling everything as orange now.
You got orange on the brain.
I'll say different words, and that'll affect the flavor.
Yeah, that's the problem. And that's
See, now I was thinking banana, and I got a little
that's
banana
also why
nut.
you shouldn't read the reviews.
No, I don't usually first.
Or tasting notes and like, oh, okay, I can't think of anything, so it must be what this random person told me.
I was just going to say banana, and then I got a little banana nut.
Well, some scotch definitely has banana.
It's going to take me a little longer, accidentally. Poured more.
I think I poured less than you did.
Yeah, oh well. That's how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm getting something different. What is that? What is it? Oh, that was a little lemony. Nice. Okay.
Wasps. Oh, come on.
Yeah, they found us now. They all told their friends.
Back to the 4 different ones, and I tried all 4 of them actually.
Yeah.
Very small amounts.
So it's 4 different Knob Creeks, not these even.
They were bourbons though.
Oh, okay, bourbon's
4
not
different
right.
bourbons.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, right. Gotcha.
And they were all slightly different. One of them was more different than the others, and it was my favorite. It was one Brits Pub had picked out.
Oh, yeah. They had to.
And it was really good. It had this crazy brown sugar kind of a thing going on, and I'm
Wonder if you can find that somewhere.
I might have to find one of those because I thought, wow, this is just not what I'm used to in Knob Creek's usually kind of a little more on the savory side.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I thought, oh, this one is great.
Wow. That would be cool. So what's this one now? This is
the Parlor Bar in St.
Parlor.
Paul. So.
Okay. Oh, this is definitely smells different. Oh, wow. This has got caramel smell. This definitely smells different.
Yeah.
Maybe my nose opened up more. Oh, you're smelling it different too, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got caramel.
This one has more oaky stuff, so more vanilla.
Okay, yeah, vanilla. I guess sometimes I confuse vanilla and caramel. No, maybe it can be a little of
kind
each.
Baked goods
Yeah.
smell.
So try it without water first. All right.
It's different.
No, it definitely is different.
Yeah.
I think the other one, the first one was sort of, well, what's the word I would say? I definitely not. I'm not saying generic, but more usual or typical or what's the word I'm looking for?
I thought the Hy-Vee barrel one tasted much more like standard rye.
Standard. That's more
Kind
the
of
word
had
I was looking for.
That regular flavor profile.
Yeah,
it's
not
good.
generic.
And I that's why I would be interested to try it against the standard release, not single barrel one.
I'd be surprised if they were that
I'll bet
different.
they're close.
They're probably very close.
This one seems
This
like
is
more
definitely
of an outlier.
different. Okay, what's going on there? Oh, I could put some water in. No, I like that.
You know what though?
What?
They're the same proof. I took a second sip with no water in it, and it's smoother.
Yeah, it is.
It does not have the tongue burn
No, you're right.
of the
Is it
other
older
one.
maybe or something? Is that
You know,
smooth it
actually,
down?
I don't know how old that one is. The Hy-Vee one has a bottled on date and distilled date, and I think it came in at maybe 6 years. It says it right there on that lower strip. Okay.
Yeah, this one doesn't.
This one was just barreled in 2013.
Sure.
And 2019.
Yeah.
So a 6 year. So yeah, the other one does not have an age. Maybe it's older.
I'm wondering if it's older.
It's an older bottling because it's got the older logo. Like
Yeah.
The new Knob Creek stuff looks like the Hy-Vee.
Yeah, you're right. So maybe it is still older.
It might be older, but the Knob Creek doesn't vary that much in age. I mean, it's not like some of them are 15 years and some are
Maybe it's
4.
just enough. I could drink this without water.
That's exactly right. It actually doesn't need water, and some barrel strength ones you really need to put water. It's not just about the tongue burn, just the flavor overwhelms you a little bit too much, and you can't pick out the subtleties.
No, this is this is definitely different than the other one. I'm going to put some water in.
Yeah.
Just a little. Ah.
So much that I think if I blind tasted these, I would guess that they're different distilleries. They're not the same brand.
No, I don't.
And that's what I got from a couple of the Knob Creek bourbons that my friend had.
Mm-hmm.
That they were that different, and so it's part
this
of the
is-
fun. Yeah.
This has got a higher percentage of a certain grain than the other one, but I don't know enough about it to tell the difference. Because I've had whiskeys, and there is a flavor in this one that I recognize in some, and I can't tell you what it is.
Maybe.
I associate it with corn, but I don't know why.
It would surprise me if a big company like Knob Creek would vary it like that, but
I'm not saying. So I almost want to compare this one to that corn one, that not mellow corn. but,
Balcones.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's some similarity. I mean,
But
corn whiskey is very, very. It's like a cousin to bourbon. It's so close
sure, yeah.
because bourbon is still mostly corn. I don't know how.
Maybe this has a little bit more corn in it. Do you think?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, it's a little
It's
sweeter.
my uneducated guess. I like it.
Yeah, the flavor just kind of seems more intact.
Yeah. And it's definitely more unique.
Yeah, so I think they're both good. I like the parlor version definitely better.
3 thumbs up.
Yeah. Okay. So, have you been watching any movies, or obviously
nice.
you've been doing a deep dive on animals, which we'll get to next time. But I listened to it today while I was out doing yard work. Which the problem with that, of course, is that you can't.
You won't
really
get some
hear
of the nuances.
Well, you don't hear. It's hard to hear all the lyrics. I mean,
Yeah.
some of them I know because I've heard it so many times. But
even when I listen on headphones and many times, I mean, I thought they were saying brothers instead of buggers. You know, I don't know, but you know, when I was younger, because I would never heard that word. But so there. Yeah, we'll talk about that later, though.
okay,
But that's what got that.
keep them coming back.
That's what a teaser. That's what got me thinking about it, though, was the debate. I just thought, for some reason, those songs.
And there's a White House reference in the pig song.
Yeah. Is it white?
Something
House?
about White House.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
assume
It's
that-
not the White House, though. I think
You don't think it's the
I
White
think
House?
it's somebody's name.
Oh,
I think if you look at a lyric, sure.
see, I just
I think
assumed
if you
that they
look
were
at-
talking about your President Nixon, or like a David Bowie reference.
I'll have to look at the lyrics again, but I think it's
Yeah.
like a name. So like, I could be wrong. I think it was like one word.
Like Sheldon Whitehouse, the
Sure.
senator. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
Okay.
know. Speaking of debates, we had, I got to see, I didn't watch it, but Lindsey Graham debated his
yeah.
opponent, whose name I just now have forgotten because of the whiskey. I'll blame it. But people
I
were
heard it was very fiery.
talking about the Lindsey Graham sway. He was swaying back and forth.
Is it a
like
dance move? Or
I think that's what
maybe
this
he's on TikTok.
Jaina L.A. said on Facebook. One of my friends said that as soon as she can get on the dance floor again, she was going to do
gonna
the Lindsey Graham sway. Yeah.
By Michael Bublé.
Hey, maybe you'll get to play with him someday. Is that on your bucket list?
It wasn't, but I guess I should make a bucket list. There's a hole in my bucket.
I have a bucket list and a fuck it list.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, fuck it.
One of the things that
Oh, we got explicit again.
What?
One of the things, what? Sorry.
I already said fuck earlier.
Oh, okay. We're all explicit.
We have an explicit tag on the podcast, Phil. It's okay.
Oh, it's a blanket one. I thought you had to do it each one.
No, every single one.
Fine.
I recently watched the TV series High Fidelity.
The TV series of High
Oh,
Fidelity?
you didn't know there was one, see?
If I did, I forgot. See, now I might go back and get some of the other ones.
Okay,
too.
I went back to the High V.
All right. I
got some fruit. No, yeah, I'm getting more of the spiciness on it, but it's
definitely more standard. I'll say standard.
yeah, it definitely has a more standard rye flavor to it.
And I'm just gonna say the other one had more corn. That's what I'm thinking. But what do I know? I'm not a guy. What do I know?
You're a wino.
Oh, speaking of wives, I don't know if she will follow up on this, but my wife Jody, we were talking about how we never really talk about wine much on the show.
No?
And she has a particular type of wine that she likes. And I thought, well, you could
What kind is that?
well, I just said she could talk about it on the show, and she might.
Mm.
So I'm not going to say anything. She said I won't be on for the whole hour, though. She'll just pop in like your wife does.
That seems to be rather smart. Yeah, Wow, that's
I know.
interesting.
Sometimes I shouldn't be on for the whole hour.
Oh.
Okay, so I went back to that one too.
Yeah.
Hy-Vee, by the way, is like a grocery store
Yeah.
in this area. Oh, you know what? I would like to have a Safeway, Knob Creek, from Rapid
Scotch
City.
by, yeah. Scotch by single barrel. I tell you, they got to bring that brand back.
Oh, they could just sell the T-shirts. It's you know.
Oh, wouldn't that? Yeah, that,
I mean,
that's
we'd
right.
all buy a T-shirt, wouldn't we?
I would totally buy that
Wait,
shirt.
is it maybe the copyright's expired? We could buy it. We could buy it real
Okay,
cheap.
I'm going to look into that. I probably have to hire a lawyer to do it, though.
Well, you know a couple. This is maybe this is the way we'll make money on the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll sell Scotch by T-shirts
Scotch by beer.
and whiskey. Did they have Scotch by whiskey? They didn't.
No, I'm sure
No,
they didn't.
It was
In
like
those days,
3-2
Gord,
beer. You could no.
Safeways didn't sell whiskey,
You're right,
I don't
right.
think. They do now, but
Now they could.
okay.
Huh.
Okay, well, anyway.
I think I liked that better the second time I had it, but I don't know.
yeah, it's
I
a
didn't
little
mean
better.
to say. I didn't mean to say it was generic.
No, it's still really good rye. It's just that other one is
Standard
a
was the word I meant.
bit different. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, it definitely had a different kick. Do you want to try some more pipe, Gene, before we go?
Let me finish this, and
Might as well since it's here,
yep,
right?
I will.
Now we're gonna mix them.
I could use some more vitamin C. Okay. Anyway, back to
Oh, High Fidelity TV
so
series.
High
What?
Fidelity is a TV series now.
Is it? Is
Came out
that
last
recent?
year.
Yeah.
Last year, yeah.
Okay.
It
If I knew
is,
that, I forgot.
So High Fidelity, if you guys have probably heard of it, but was originally a book by Nick Hornby.
Right.
He did not have a band called The Range.
Bruce Hornsby.
Had a book. It took place in England, and it was made into
I didn't know
a
that.
movie in
LA.
2000, I think,
Yeah.
with John Cusack playing the title role of Rob.
Oh,
his
I
name
need.
is.
I need to see that movie still.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, well, you shouldn't see it. Maybe you'll watch it then.
It's on my list.
Yeah, it's actually really good. And then it's been redone as a TV series, kind of a limited one. I think it's 10 episodes.
Okay.
And it covers a lot of the same ground the movie does, and I assume that the book is similar. I have not read it. It's about a record store owner.
Yeah.
Is the title character. So in the TV
Rob.
series, Rob is actually now a woman.
Oh.
So they switch. They flip genders on some of the characters.
Sure.
So
That's
in the
that's
movie,
cool.
it's John Cusack playing the title character,
And
who's also
probably in the
named
book.
Rob.
And probably in the book.
And it's definitely a guy in the book, and it's played by an African American woman.
Oh. So not just the gender. They.
Right.
They
They
got-
definitely changed things around,
Okay.
and also named Rob for Robin,
Yeah. Okay.
which is a fun touch. And she is played by Zoe Kravitz, Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Oh wow.
She's really good.
Yeah.
It takes place in New York, whereas the movie took place in Chicago.
And the book is in England.
Yeah, so it moved around a little bit. There are two co-workers at her store that in the film, one of them was played by Jack Black.
Oh.
And I forget the other guy's name who played in the movie. And then but the Jack Black character in the show is played by an African American woman.
Okay.
And
so
the other character is a
African-American
gay
women?
man who I don't think he was gay in the film. So
So there's two African American women and a gay man.
and
Who
it's,
is,
it's definitely much more
who's
diverse. He's no, he's actually just white, but he's gay, so they check the boxes. And so yeah, things are flipped around, and but it has actually a lot of the same plot.
Well, why wouldn't it? I guess
this character,
right?
yeah, it's still based on the same material. So a lot
Sure.
of the big
It doesn't matter in
signature-
a way what gender somebody is.
right? And of course, it takes place today instead of 20 years ago.
Yeah.
which
Oh,
makes it different.
okay. So
everybody
that's got to
has
change it.
phones. Yeah. It's definitely been updated, not just in
Huh.
the diversity department.
Interesting.
The title character, if you all remember, the film at least is really an asshole. I mean, he's very
bitter,
negative.
disgruntled, something or other.
Yep, he is.
Was he a
And-
frustrated musician or something? Or what
No, but again, probably had aspirations.
Yeah,
and
sure.
ended up running a record store that's not. I mean, I guess it must do well enough, but it's not exactly catching the world on fire.
And then you have Jack Black as an employee. Oh my God.
Yeah, and of course Jack Black is an aspiring musician, and at the end of the film, he kind of breaks out and
Oh,
kind of pursues his dream. And
with Tenacious D.
does he?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
No, the real Jack Black.
Oh, the real Jack Black, the other one.
The other Jack Black? Jack White?
I'm thinking of Jack White. Sorry.
No, Jack White.
fucking Knob Creek.
The white stripes.
I know who Jack White is. I just
See, now-
apparently forgot that.
I wanted to come up with a character. I wanted to break out as Jack Gray, and then I think that's been done. I think somebody finally
I
did
hope
that.
it's been done. It's so obvious.
It was so many years ago that, but whatever. I want it
anyway,
to be Jack Gray.
It's updated and expanded, of course, because it's an entire series instead of a 2-hour movie.
Huh.
So it's got more things from the book that were not in the film. And
Okay.
It has some new things, I'm sure. But it was actually pretty good.
So you've watched the complete series.
I have
it was
watched
only
it.
10, so
Yeah, as far as I know, that's all they're doing because there's not much else for
there's
them
not
to
a sequel. Higher fidelity.
There was not ever a sequel.
You have
Nick
different birds
Hornby,
here.
the book author, was an executive producer on the show, so I assume he signed
Oh,
off on
wow.
it.
Okay, yeah.
So
Well, and you got a paycheck.
exactly,
Well, okay.
it's pretty good. It's I think it's on Hulu and
Zulu.
worth checking out. It's really fun. I found it fun because I have seen the film a number of times. I really like it. To see what they changed and what they didn't change.
Yeah.
And
Well, then that makes
Even-
you want to
even-
read the book then, too.
the characters obviously are different, and they don't just change the actors and have the characters be the same. They actually are different
yeah.
characters, even though they do some of the same things and have some of the same lines as the film
Yeah.
and all that. Although having
How
John
strange.
Cusack versus Zoe Kravitz is a big difference. Again, they have some of the same things where a lot of the time is spent revisiting their failed relationships is the
Yeah.
theme of both of them, and in the book, I'm sure. But the John Cusack character is a lot more offensive.
Yeah.
He's really, and I mean it's done that way deliberately, but
Yeah.
the
Crude.
after rewatch, I'm going to rewatch the film, because I'm really curious to see how it works. But
I'll check it out.
I think from watching the new show, the title character is less deserving of sympathy than the one in the show. So I think the
The movie is less sympathetic.
yes,
Yeah.
and I think the new version is a lot more rounded. And
Sure.
she does things that are really jerky and
Yeah.
kind of negative, and makes a lot of mistakes. But
Huh.
I think the part of the film that doesn't age as well is probably the fact that the main character is kind of borderline offensive at times.
Yeah.
Mostly misogynistic.
Which
So-
would be interesting as the woman character.
Yeah, and that's so exactly
do
how
that?
they adapt that. And so she's different, even
Yeah.
though
She's still a misogynist?
no, I don't think so. But
She hates women.
yeah. No, she's definitely not as hard to like, I guess.
Oh, okay. This sounds interesting. To
So
compare.
I'll have to talk about this after I've seen the film again, because it's been many years since I've seen it. But
Well, maybe I can watch it before that too.
yeah, you should.
I've come around.
It has, and there are some really great scenes in the film that they pretty much reproduce exactly in the show.
Oh,
That take place, for example, in the record store and
yeah.
things like that. That are kind of signature scenes Like there's one of them
so
where
it's kind of like a cover.
yeah, and it kind of is. And they
I don't know.
the
about
original
that.
show
Just something different.
talked a lot about pop music and stuff like that, and some of the songs they are artists they talk about in the original movie are different.
Yeah.
Because they updated them and they chose to have them talk about different things and things like that.
There's a woodpecker right above your head. You have different birds than I do.
Wow.
Although you have a blue jay. I have a blue jay. There's a blue jay
It
playing in
followed
your
you.
gutter. It's not the same one.
Yeah, it means I need to clean them probably. Shit.
Yeah, I got to clean mine.
Yeah, anyway, it's worth checking out. Especially, I especially recommend it if you're a fan of the film, just to compare. Yeah. I don't know if it's 100% successful. Sometimes it kind of is a little slow to get going, things like that. Maybe it could have been 8 episodes instead of 10. But
Sure. Condensing sometimes helps.
But overall, I enjoyed it. And it's also they're half-hour episodes, so it's a little easier to digest.
Oh, okay.
It's not. We always have a hard time finding something that isn't heavy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just not in the mood to I'm gonna try and get
no
through
kidding.
another episode of Westworld or whatever.
No, I
mean,
get
they're
it.
so intense that
I know.
and
That's why I
you're
don't
just
watch
not-
a lot.
Yeah, you're just not up for it. It's like, well, okay,
Before
I'll
I
go
go to
watch
bed.
a Ralphie whiskey review instead, or a cooking show or something like that.
Sure.
But
Fall
and
down
that's
some
why
YouTube rabbit hole.
Like these kind of shows are a little bit better for that. And one thing that's great is that Schitt's Creek final season or next season is coming out
Yeah.
to Netflix this weekend. So
I
finally get to
don't
catch up
know.
with that because that won like all the Emmys,
Yeah.
and that's a great show.
I
have talked about it before.
I
but
know, and I there's no reason I shouldn't have watched some of it
it's great.
just because of the two of the main characters
Yeah,
or the actors.
the whole cast is actually really good. But I'm
Yeah.
glad it got recognition, even though it's a Canadian show, so maybe it shouldn't have. Should it have American Emmys? I don't know.
Was it filmed in America?
I don't think so.
Oh, well,
No, it's produced by a Canadian company. I
we
think.
should strip it of its Emmys
I think it should not have
because we need to keep America
something.
good. Okay.
Yeah, what is it?
We
these
need to
days?
keep America okay.
Yeah,
I think I'd settle for that.
I would love some okay. Give me some okay, man. Oh, before we drift off into our
The sunset.
into our
The sun
I
is
guess
setting.
we're done phase, which seems to go on for 20 minutes.
I always want to. Sometimes I lop those off, and I don't.
Yeah,
I think about editing, but I don't.
I think about editing. I dream about edits. Hello, I'm Melania. Where was I going with this? Oh no, so
I don't know.
we hit a McDonald's drive-through.
John means visited, went through, not robbed.
I can't help you.
In Michigan,
Yeah.
and they have the little signs of the combo meals and stuff, and they had a combo meal with with offered with Vernor's ginger soda.
Oh, yeah.
That was I'd never seen that before. Usually it's like Coke or something like that.
Yeah.
But this one had a big
No,
cup of,
Vernors is a big deal.
of ginger Vernors up there.
Yeah, it's the best kind.
So-
My Jody's from Michigan, so
Yeah.
if she can find Vernors, that's what she gets.
So
You
that,
can
that
have her talk
apparently
about
if
her
you
favorite wine and Vernors.
yeah, I guess if you go to McDonald's in Michigan, you can
I-
get
I-
Vernors out of the tap.
Oh, that's almost worth the trip.
Yeah, that and Big Boy.
Yeah.
They have Big Boys
They have
there.
big boys still.
They have Vernors, Big Boy, and weed. You can get those all legally in Michigan.
At McDonald's?
Maybe. No, sadly, no THC burgers.
Although some people probably go to McDonald's after they've smoked a few.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fine. Well, thank you.
Oh, hold on. Before
Yeah,
we
you
go,
have some more of
I gotta
that.
Try a little more of your Sprout.
Pipe
or whatever it's
Dream.
called.
No, I'm glad you like that. When I had it yesterday, I was like, oh, John's not going to like this. It's too sweet. But
Well, it's not Screwball.
no, it definitely was sweeter yesterday.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
this almost makes me think I should crack the cork and just let it sit in the cabinet for a while, and then have it the next day.
Or pour some in a glass
And just let it sit for a while?
and put a lid on it or something.
Yeah.
And let it sit overnight and see what it does.
Ooh, okay.
It may not do anything.
Because this definitely tastes better than it did yesterday. Because yesterday it was total orange marmalade. It was very sweet. It was very orangey. But today it's a lot more rounded.
Yeah, I still get the orange,
No, it's got the orange.
but I like orange though.
Because yesterday I was like, man, you could put some cream in this and you'd have a dreamsicle, for Christ's sake. But I'm not getting that quite so much.
It reminds me of when I make cheap and easy old fashions.
Okay.
So what I do is I basically pour ice, whiskey, and a splash of orange cello
Okay, right.
in it, and
Yeah.
just kind of slosh it together.
Sure.
And that kind of approximates an old fashioned.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when I have those.
Which is not a bad thing.
And I just use a tiny bit of
No.
orange cello.
Yeah. So I get that.
So that's what I'm getting.
Okay.
Mm.
So there, you don't even have to mix anything together. Just get some of this pipe dream.
Okay.
I've never
I think
seen-
that gets the I think the endorsed products tonight are going to be Pipe Dream and Parlor version Knob Creek, which probably most of you can't find.
And maybe we can't either.
Yeah, it might be sold out by now. I don't know. Oh, okay.
If you look up Redwood Empire, there is something different about their barrels, but I don't remember what. Not just where
They've got extra pine sap in them.
they're extra old or something. I don't know.
Are they made out of redwoods?
I would hope so, but probably not.
I don't know. There's not that many.
No, there's oak. It wouldn't be
Apparently,
pine.
there are not a lot of oaks. Not a lot of wood that you can use successfully to age whiskey in.
I think it's mostly oak.
And most types of oak are not
Right.
suitable
It's a
either.
special kind of
So,
oak.
well, if I can get Chris H on, we will really geek out on whiskey
Okay.
more than we did tonight.
I just like the slipper time lemonade.
Oh my.
Because he is serious.
So, two things you have to look forward to is animals discussion
Yes, that's next time.
in family relations to our political climate today. Does it still hold up? I don't know. And then, and really geeking out with some whiskey heads.
All right, man.
Okay.
Good night.
Here's the song!
You back up all the leaves, cross all of your borders. They line up, awaiting their orders. Leaf baggers, satter scatter, blowers, mowers, hide their clatter. The woodland creatures and the ancient teachers hide underground, their cries out drowned. The looming deep freeze and the north's chill breeze. When man hides his indoors, just like his brothers on all fours, winter is coming. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. Winter is here. baggers from the icy daggers, hiding homes or the catacombs.